Hello and welcome to another video of Excel Academy. In this video, we'll be looking at the syllabus of the company secretary executive entrance test, or popularly known as CSEET program. So as you already know, CSEET has been recently introduced, and instead of the old subjects, we have freshly revamped syllabus, which is as follows. Now, if you look at this, this is completely a computer-based test, and we have 4 subjects, and each subject carries 50 marks. In total, there will be exam for 200 marks, including the 30 marks for Viva Voce presentation. So now we will be concentrating in this video on this particular topic, that is logical reasoning. So logical reasoning forms part of the second subject of CSEET program, that is legal aptitude and logical reasoning. Out of the 200 marks, 25 marks will come from this particular topic, that is logical reasoning. Now, if you look at the topics, for example, let's start with the first subdivision, that is logical reasoning itself. The first topic which we have here is calendars. Now, in this topic, you may get questions like, for instance, May 25th of 2050 falls on which day? Or how many odd days are there in the year 2030? So things like that. It's a very interesting topic based on calendars basically, and if you understand the concept behind that, you will be able to answer these type of questions within seconds. Then we have cause and effect reasoning. In this case, they will provide you with 2 statements. Now what you have to do there is, you'll have to look at both statement 1 and statement 2 and understand if there is any relationship which is in the nature of cause and effect between those 2 statements. Then we have clocks. In case of clocks, basically what they will do is they will ask questions based on angles mostly, and also when exactly they overlap and what is the time taken for a minute hand or an hour hand to reach a particular point of time. So those are the kind of questions which they ask in topic clocks. Then you have coding and decoding. As the name itself says, the words will be decoded and you will have to look at the question, observe the code which they have used. Once you are able to crack it, then decoding should not be that difficult. Then we have deriving conclusions from passages. Here what you have to do is, there will be a passage of 4 to 5 lines and you'll have to read that passage very carefully, understand what is written there, and based on that you'll have to check whatever conclusion they have drawn in the question is right or not. So the conclusion will also be there in the question as well as the passage. All you need to do is check whether that conclusion matches the passage. Then there is drawing inference, which is very similar to the previous topic. We have number test series, sequence and series. These 2 are based on usually numbers, and in fact sequence also includes alphabets as well. But in case of number test, what will they usually ask is, you will have series of numbers and maybe they will ask you to find the missing number in that particular series. So those are the kind of questions which you will get from logical reasoning. But the thing here is, what we have as syllabus, that is logical reasoning for 25 marks. This is something which is common for most of the competitive exams. If you study the logical reasoning which is prescribed in this course, that is CSEET, this will not only help you to pass CSEET, but also if you are preparing for any competitive exams, it will help you there too. So what the institute has done is, in some cases they have mixed the syllabus between logical and verbal reasoning. Something which should have been in logical reasoning is there in verbal reasoning, so that is okay. So there is no very strict division of topics as such. Then in case of verbal reasoning, as the name itself says, one of the most interesting topics here is blood relations. So here they will ask questions regarding the relationship between various parties. So there will be, let's say, A, B, C, D, etc. They say A is the son of B, who is the son of C, and who is in turn the son of D, and what is the relationship between A and D. Questions like these will be asked there. Then inserting missing characters, again very similar to the number test series. Then logical sequence test, there will be various items and you'll have to see if there is a logic in that sequence, and then if there are any missing numbers, insert them. Then we have logical Venn diagram syllogism. This is another interesting topic in verbal reasoning, wherein you will have few statements. Based on those statements, you will have to understand the relationship between those statements and then come to some conclusion. Then you have truth tellers and liars, which is very similar to syllogism. If you understand this shouldn't be that difficult. So the last part of the syllabus or subdivision of logical reasoning is the non-verbal reasoning, which is largely based on geometrical figures. So once again, you have analytical reasoning, then there is classification based on various items which are already given in the question. So you'll have to look at few items, and then based on those items, you'll have to guess the next item, or maybe you'll have to pick out the odd one out. Then there will be grouping of identical figures. So based on the diagrams or the pictures, images which they have given, you will be able to group them suitably. Then there is mirror image. For example, if I have to write this, so the mirror image will be like this. So this is how the mirror image looks of this particular word. So these kind of questions will also be there. Then there is rule deduction, which is already there in all the other topics as well. So here they have separately mentioned. Then finally we have number and alphabet series. As I said, this internal subdivision is something which is not very strict. So forget about this internal subdivision of verbal, non-verbal and logical reasoning. Look at it as a subject which will be useful to you, not only for this but for various other competitive exams. So I would suggest take it up seriously, and you get to learn a lot of interesting stuff, because this is one such topic which you will not encounter again in executive. For example, legal aptitude, which is something related to law, that will be there in CS executive as well as professional, whereas this is something which will not be there in CS executive. So as far as possible, try to study in depth and understand things logically. So this was a very brief introduction of the topic logical reasoning. I hope you got a very brief idea as to what exactly we have here as part of the syllabus, and in fact you can download the reference material as well and check the notes which is given by the institute. So I would suggest you do that, so you will get a better idea as to what this subject is all about. Thank you for watching the video till the end.